Hello everyone, kumusta po kayo? I hope that you're all doing good.
Do you still keep your old Philippine passport after your naturalization in another country? In one of my previous videos, I had a discussion on the use of the Philippine passport by those who have already renounced their Philippine citizenship when they acquired a foreign citizenship through the process called naturalization. I have made it clear that when you cease to become a Filipino citizen, you cannot use that passport for purposes of travel, as it would constitute a misrepresentation of your true citizenship. I have explained that under the Philippine law, you lose your Philippine citizenship when you take an oath of allegiance to another country, and this rule has not changed despite the enactment of RA 9225 or the Citizenship Retention and Reacquisition Act of 2003. RA 9225 requires you to do a positive act of taking an oath of allegiance to the Republic of the Philippines, that is, if you would want to retain or to reacquire your Philippine citizenship and thus become a dual citizen. Going back to the use of that passport after you have lost your Philippine citizenship, is there a valid and legal use of the Philippine passport even after you have renounced your Philippine citizenship? My answer is yes, and this particularly applies to former Filipinos who chose not to become dual citizens under RA 9225, meaning they are foreigners in the eyes of the Philippine Immigration Law. In that case, they would be treated as foreign citizens when they come to visit the Philippines. If they are from EO408 countries, they will be entitled to the extendable 30-day visa-free entry and stay in the Philippines. But as a former Filipino citizen, they are entitled to the balikbayan privileges, which include a visa-free entry with a maximum stay of 1 year. In that regard, they are required to present proof of their previous Philippine citizenship, either by presenting their old Philippine passports or their Philippine birth certificates. These two alternative requirements can be found in all websites of the Philippine consulates and embassies that I have checked. Although in the information sheet provided by the Philippine Embassy in Lisbon, Portugal, two other documents are acceptable. One, your foreign naturalization papers, which shows your former Philippine citizenship, or two, certification by the embassy or consulate of the adoptive country that the individual is a former Filipino citizen. To me, these additional options should make sense. This clarification seems to contradict the advice that I found in the websites of the Philippine Consulate in New York that the Philippine passport must be surrendered to the Philippine Consulate after you acquire a foreign citizenship by naturalization. To my mind, there is no contradiction because that injunction applies only to dual citizens. And I would want to add, surrendering your Philippine passport is one of the requirements in applying for dual citizenship or for the retention or reacquisition of your Philippine citizenship. For me, it would serve a practical purpose if the surrender and the issuance of a new passport is made part of the process in the application for dual citizenship. And with our discussion that you will need that old Philippine passport when you visit the Philippines as a balikbayan, one should not be required to surrender such passport. I have already mentioned that there is no contradiction, but if there is any, I believe it should be resolved in favor of keeping your old Philippine passport. But of course, I would like to repeat and emphasize that it should not be used as a proof of your citizenship to gain entry in any country, as this might cause you some serious trouble for misrepresentation. One interesting area is to know how the Philippine Bureau of Immigration is able to detect or find out if a former Filipino citizen is using an old passport that was rendered null and void by his or her naturalization in another country. This is both a policy and enforcement issue.
I hope that you have learned something from this video. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Always remember, ignorance of the law excuses no one from compliance therewith. I will see you in my next video. Ingat po kayo.